there, everyone. Happy Friday. You're listening to Weekly Weather Brief, where we're catching you up on the weekly weather events that at least caught our attention in 10 minutes or less. I'm meteorologist Kerrin Jerriman.
Good morning, Kerrin Jerriman. I'm meteorologist Emily Gracie. Happy to be here. Happy to have you back. You're looking maybe a little refreshed, a little tan.
A little glowy, yes, I am. I had a nice vacation all week, which means I wasn't paying as close attention to the weather and general life as I normally do, but had a great time. Went down to the Caribbean for a week to celebrate a big birthday. So yes, back and refreshed and getting caught up. I know there was quite a bit happening this week weather-wise. We had tornadoes left and right in Mississippi. I did see that, even being completely out of the country and out of touch. That was impossible to miss. Had several tornadoes in Mississippi earlier this week, a couple of which are ranking over EF3, which are significant as tornadoes go. I'm sure you saw that as well, yeah?
Yeah, I saw it as well. And, one of the takeaways, awful, terrible, 400 homes hit, a lot of people displaced and injured. But I think the silver lining to take away from this as well is that nobody died. And I think that speaks to, the forecasting skills and the improvement of forecasting when it comes to tornado warnings and them getting out there in a timely fashion. So I think that we can be grateful for that. When we can't control the weather, at least we can control how we react to it,
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, we kind of harp on that whenever you're in a severe weather risk, and this one was well forecast, right? The Storm Prediction Center had the areas out to watch for and said EF2s could be possible, even stronger potentially. That was out there. So people getting that information and maybe having a plan before they hit, which is, very much key to staying safe when there's any sort of weather threatening, is having a plan. So I do feel very grateful that that is the case so far. Now, of course, the local weather service is still doing storm surveys, still assessing the damage because it was so extensive. But just calling out one in particular that I saw in Mississippi, they've already rated it an EF3, which means winds about 137 miles per hour. This thing was more than a mile wide. So again, that's just one of several that the weather service is assessing. So pretty unbelievable stuff. And our hearts go out, of course, to everyone who was impacted by these storms.
Yeah, I was looking at the preliminary reports from the Storm Prediction Center, and they had 23 on Wednesday. And of course, you and I know this, that when they do go out and start to survey, that tends to dwindle down because you'll get multiple reports on the same tornado. So yes, they get reports from the media, from law enforcement, and then they go out and they take a look, was this one tornado? Was this two? Was this indeed a tornado? Was it straight line winds? So the Weather Service employees are out there and they're surveying that damage and taking a look at how trees fall, how damage is, they're assessing that damage to see exactly what it is. And they're well trained in that. So
absolutely. And so many methods to see it too. I know they were waiting for some drone footage, which again, thanks to the incredible chaser community and people who are documenting these, we can get more accurate measurements and more accurate assessments of what's truly happened. So props to everyone out there. And again, to everyone affected, our hearts are with you. Emily, I did see something positive, and I think I'll just throw this in. There's always reason to look for the silver lining, even when things like this happen. I saw a video from the folks over at the Weather Channel, which, they do a great job of storytelling, but one of their crew there, the storm chaser, Charles Peak, he's great. He does incredible work, captured, a story from one person who lost his cat amidst all the damage, couldn't find his cat. And the good story came out of, the next day, the man found his cat, and it was just really heartwarming. You always have to look for those positive stories that are coming out of damage assessments. So that was one thing that caught my eye. Amidst all the destruction and the terrible footage you're seeing, there are good things happening and people coming together to help.
Did you cry, Kerrin? I would have cried if I saw that.
I mean, it's a kitty cat, that's where my heartstrings pull, for sure. Yeah.
During those California wildfires, and anytime someone found their dog, I lost it.
Yeah. I know. The animals get you because you just feel for them. They're helpless, but then when you find them and everyone's happy, it is a happy story that comes out of a pretty terrible situation. All right, what else?
Well, there was snow in Colorado.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we did have some snow. You're right. That one caught my eye as well. I did see that. Again, being out of the country, a little out of touch, but I saw that parts of Colorado picked up, well, probably one of their more significant snows of the whole season, because it has been very, very quiet a winter. And now come early May, they get hit with, again, probably one of the bigger May storms on records. Denver at the airport there, which is kind of on the outskirts. It's not really high in elevation. It's about a mile high or a bit less. They picked up just under 6 inches. And then as you get up into some elevation, a lot of those foothill communities, somewhere between 6 and 10 inches, you get up to the mountain areas, and we're talking 2 to 3 feet of snow. Boom. Hello, May. How would you feel about that?
Yeah.
Live in the South and doesn't do snow. How would you feel about that?
Not great, not great.
No.
But they do need it. They need that water. They need that moisture. So,
Yes.
especially as we go into wildfire season.
Yeah.
Speaking of something that we really need, we can always use more forecasters, more meteorologists in this world.
True that.
And the National Weather Service is on a hiring spree. It's a little bit of a different situation than what we saw about a year ago. But yeah, they're hiring. They've posted 450 jobs for forecasters, hydrologists at the National Weather Service offices nationwide. So many, they didn't all fit on one page. And 126 of these positions are brand new positions. So not only are they filling the gap of positions that were previously cut, but they're now adding new positions. So, there's a lot of kind of speculation as to why is this, going into like storms and hurricane season and kind of filling any gaps that may be there? Is it going to help with like the morale of current employees, or is it just adding to the confusion of you're gone, you're back, you're gone, you're back, So I think hopefully new graduates are coming out of college and hopefully applying for these positions, and we can fill the forecasting positions and just improve what's going out there to the world as far as forecasts and communication.
Yeah. Yeah, it is essential. It really is one of those essential jobs. When you think about how much of the country there is to cover, you can only automate so much, which I'm sure everyone's saying, oh, I have an app, right? But that is not at all what you need when you're talking about impactful weather. Sure, the app can do fine when it's a sunny day and dry, but you need those skilled forecasters and people to really take it in and get down to the nitty gritty, talk about impacts. An app cannot do that. So I'm really glad to see that those positions are available.
We need actual human beings to launch weather balloons. And we saw this last season, how essential weather balloons are, because when they went away, it made an impact. And then also, a human is putting out warnings. So when those tornadoes were dropping down earlier this week, a human was issuing a warning for these very, very small specific areas. So very, very important to have those positions filled, and important to have real humans doing it. And guess what? And this is a good transition into what we want to talk about.
Yep.
The importance of meteorologists. And, it's interesting because everybody hears the word meteorologist, and I think they immediately go to like TV weather forecaster, right? That's like kind of what people tend to think. But there's one meteorologist who's trying to change that. And yes, TV meteorologists are important, but meteorologists are in so many different fields. Sean Potter, he's a meteorologist. He's a weather historian, a science writer, double certified by AMS. He's a certified consulting meteorologist and a certified broadcast meteorologist.
Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know anyone with a degree in meteorology who refers to themselves as a weather person. I know I don't. So I started thinking about this and thought that there must be something more we can do to recognize the professional and scientific nature of our field and those in it. So I essentially came up with a new day of observance, and that is National Meteorologists' Day. And why May 9th? Well, that's the birthday of James Pollard Espy, who lived from 1785 to 1860 and was the first person to officially hold the title of meteorologist in America, having been appointed meteorologist to the U.S. government by Congress in 1842. Tying the day to him provides a historically and professionally relevant foundation for the observance. So I hope you'll join me in recognizing meteorologists across all sectors, public sector, private sector, and academia, this May 9th and every May 9th hereafter, in celebrating National Meteorologists' Day.
Thanks to Sean for sharing that information, and I'm all for it. I mean, I think we can celebrate meteorologists all year round, but sure, if we have to call it a day, let's take May 9th. It's a good day. Spring is springing, and again, it's a very critical time of year when spring storms are happening. Everyone's thinking ahead to hurricanes. So maybe it's just one more way to raise awareness of the field.
Well, and selfishly, Kerrin, if Saturday is going to be celebrating meteorologists and Sunday we're going to be celebrating mothers, then it's really a weekend all about me in my house. So no complaints from me.
Of course, you get a double. We'll celebrate you every day as well. I think that's very important. But yeah, congrats. Yeah, congrats to Sean to try to get that off the ground. I think we'll do our best here on the show to share that. If you're listening, let us know what you think and how you want to support. Share it on social media. I saw that there's a toolkit out there so you can share some information as well on the website.
Yeah, and if you're not a meteorologist and you're watching and listening, reach out to your favorite meteorologists and thank them because they are doing important work.
I love that. Well, with that, thank you to you, Emily Gracie. You're one of my favorite meteorologists. And
right back at you, Kerrin.
I got to share the love here. And we've hit our time, folks. So thank you so much for checking us out again for another weekly weather brief. We're two former broadcast meteorologists here, still loving weather and science and sharing whatever we saw this week. So if you're listening, you like what you hear, drop us a comment. If you're watching on YouTube, throw some love in the chat or the comments, and check us out wherever you get your podcasts. We're on Apple and Spotify as well.
Shout out also to people who commented last week. Thank you so much for that. Joe Martucci, I'm looking at you. And thank you to everyone who's watching and listening. Have a great weekend, Kerrin.
You too. Happy National Meteorologist Day.